Why are the Bene Gesserit to blame for everything in Dune? The true nature of the female order. The Bene Gesserit, short-sighted fools or a secretive order that controlled all of humanity. The history of the Dune universe is filled with dramatic events. Great powers achieved grand outcomes, but ordinary people inevitably suffered and perished in countless wars. Many of these events, directly or indirectly, involve the Bene Gesserit order. This article delves into the mysterious history of this order, its grand plan, and the methods it used to achieve its goals. The Bene Gesserit is a matriarchal political religious order that operated covertly, influencing numerous processes within the Corino Empire. While the details of the order's formation are unclear, it is known that it emerged during the Butlerian Jihad, the war between humans and thinking machines. The Bene Gesserit officially took shape after the Jihad ended and humanity prevailed. The order's foundation consisted of mysterious witches who existed before the war, as well as religious figures who were adherents of both new and old beliefs. Over the millennia, the order grew in influence, occupying a unique niche in the empire and becoming indispensable to its inner workings. The Bene Gesserit served multiple roles: facilitating peace between great houses, negotiating agreements, and resolving disputes without bloodshed, providing the empire's finest education to noble women, while covertly turning them into agents of the order, acting as spies, subtly advancing their interests, providing intelligence, and excelling in intrigue. As a result, the Bene Gesserit gained indirect control over a vast number of processes within the empire, manipulating both the great houses and even the imperial dynasty itself. The Bene Gesserit sought power, but not for its own sake. Instead, they aimed to improve humanity's condition and ensure its survival and evolution. Their ultimate goal was the creation of the prophesized superhuman, the Kwisatz Haderach. From their inception, the Bene Gesserit initiated a eugenics program to enhance the human genome through meticulous, millennia-long selective breeding. Their research identified two families with particularly strong genetic traits: the Atreides and the Harkonnens. For thousands of years, the Bene Gesserit carefully monitored the transmission of these genes, manipulating bloodlines as needed and cultivating desirable qualities. The ultimate goal was the birth of the Kwisatz Haderach, a man with unparalleled abilities, capable of accessing ancestral memories and foreseeing the future. The Bene Gesserit plan envisioned this messianic figure as someone who would remain under their control, preventing him from becoming a tyrant. To ensure the Kwisatz Haderach, and by extension the Bene Gesserit, could govern humanity effectively, the Order spread primitive yet resilient belief systems across many worlds. The Fremen religion, for instance, owes much to the Bene Gesserit's Missionaria Protectiva program. This deliberate planting of legends allowed the Fremen to readily accept Paul Atreides as their prophesized savior. He fit the mold of their ancient myths, which had been strategically crafted by Bene Gesserit missionaries. To execute such an ambitious plan, the Bene Gesserit themselves needed extraordinary capabilities. The Bene Gesserit schools were established to maximize the physical and mental potential of humanity, particularly women. As a result, the adepts of the Bene Gesserit possessed abilities unmatched by anyone else in the known universe. For instance, physically, the Bene Gesserit sisters could control every muscle and nerve in their bodies, down to individual fibers. They were unparalleled in the principles of prana and bindu. These training regimens resulted in numerous abilities. For example, the Bene Gesserit were trained to develop complete control over their internal organs and bodily chemistry. Consequently, they were immune to poisons, as they could simply alter the chemical composition of any harmful substance in their body and render it harmless. This ability was particularly useful when potential Reverend Mothers consumed the water of life to undergo the trial and gain access to the other memory. Their control over their body chemistry was so refined that the Bene Gesserit could even regulate the aging process and slow it down. However, they never attempted this, as it could attract undue attention to the sisterhood and reveal too many of their abilities. Prana Bindu was another unique skill set that allowed them to alter blood flow, body temperature, heart rate, and even their state of consciousness to survive in extreme conditions. The Bene Gesserit could fully control their breathing and heart rate to such an extent that, during most tests, an adept could appear dead. They could manage their need for food and water and even commit suicide at will by stopping their heart or shutting down their brain. The Bene Gesserit sisters also had complete control over their fertility, deciding by thought alone when to conceive and the gender of the child. This ability was used to execute their genetic program. Additionally, they could use the voice, a skill that allowed them to influence people directly, issuing commands at a specific vocal frequency. It was nearly impossible for a person to resist an order given through the voice. On top of everything else, their cognitive abilities were far superior to those of ordinary humans. They could easily detect lies, observe the smallest details, and accurately analyze information, making them ideal spies. However, all these abilities ultimately proved powerless against their own creation. The Kwisatz Haderach, desired by the Order, eventually came into being, one generation earlier than the Bene Gesserit had anticipated. One of the sisters of the Order, Lady Jessica, was supposed to bear Duke Leto Atreides a daughter, who in turn would have a child with Feyd Rautha Harkonnen to produce the Kwisatz Haderach. But Lady Jessica disobeyed the Order and bore a son because the Duke greatly desired an heir. The boy was named Paul, and it was he who developed the abilities of the Kwisatz Haderach. However, Paul Atreides turned out to be beyond the control of the Bene Gesserit, whom he despised for their silent complicity in the destruction of his house and their cruel treatment of the Fremen, turning them into religious fanatics. Ultimately, Paul seized power and became emperor. This led to a bloody war in which billions of innocents died, a tragedy for which the Bene Gesserit could partly be blamed, as they were the ones who bred the perfect tyrant. The throne was inherited from Paul by his son Leto II, who also possessed the abilities of the Kwisatz Haderach, and by merging with a sand trout, became virtually immortal. Leto II suppressed the Bene Gesserit for 3,500 years, during which the Order lost all real power, since the Emperor had no need for rivals. During these millennia, the Empire fell into stagnation, and any form of dissent was brutally suppressed. The Bene Gesserit were also to blame for this, as the God Emperor was yet another Kwisatz Haderach, the product of the Order's eugenics program. With the death of Leto II, humanity, following his plan, embarked on the scattering, the colonization of new, uncharted worlds. Some sisters of the Order also ventured out to continue spreading their teachings to new planets. However, life persisted in the remnants of the old empire, and here the Bene Gesserit managed to take a sort of revenge. They seized power in what was left of the Atreides Empire and entered into direct conflict with another order, the Lilaxu Bene Lilax. Meanwhile, in the unexplored regions of the universe, some of the Bene Gesserit sisters who had gone there joined forces with another female organization, the Honored Maters, to create a new power. These Maters eventually returned to the territory of the old empire and launched attacks against their progenitors, the Bene Gesserit. The two female orders engaged in a fierce war that once again caused great suffering for ordinary people. Eventually, after depleting each other, the two groups merged to form the new sisterhood. Such is the rich and fascinating history of the Bene Gesserit. That's all I have for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support is the greatest reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.